All right, let's get our guest speaker up here. I don't want to, because she's limited on time. We broke bread last night. I said, do you have a few minutes to jump on the call? Because she's very busy. She's regional vice president. She's actually leaving today at 2 o'clock out of Vegas, heading over to Phoenix to follow Tony Kupas in that event. And then from there, she's flying to San Diego to get the Wednesday. See, that's what leaders, they follow. Who do you know? Who do you know? I'm asking you guys, who do you know in Phoenix? Get them out in front of them. Who do you know in San Diego? Get them out in front of them. She's also a woman of God. Oh, my God. She's an author, a winged warrior, and she's also a publisher now. She's doing the publishing. Look at God using her. She's got should I say she's got another book coming out? It's a children's book, a Christian children's book. God, she does so much with her hats, and we want to thank her. She's a beautiful person, a dear friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome Regional Vice President, none other than Miss Jocelyn Driskill.
Good morning, you all. It's great to see your bright, shiny faces this morning and your smiles. Those of you who aren't smiling, let me see you. There it is, Jomar, Rick, Al. I love it, Terry. Adrian, I saw you last night. Fantastic, Catherine, I see you. Jackie Black, how are you, girl? Guys are amazing. So I'm grateful to be here. Now, this is a last minute invite, which I love. Those are always the best. Mr. Al Thomas is, obviously, you all know, has been running this event for years upon years and weeks upon weeks and days upon days. This is a man who truly cares about each and every one of us. And I can tell you how grateful I am for Mr. Thomas and his leadership and how he's always shown up for everybody. How about some of you leaders showing up for him? I'm just asking. I am grateful to be here and asked to show up as well, to support and to love on you guys, to share maybe some golden nuggets. And Mr. Thomas has been doing that for such a long time. And I just want to ask you, Harrison, Jomar, who's going to start doing these events weekly so Mr. Thomas can move on and do some other things? I'm just putting it out there, creating all the possibilities that are available to each and every one of us. I see, Brian Baker, Bob Meyer, Greg Williamson, Al Randolph. You guys are all amazing leaders, and many more. Jackie Black, Deborah, Catherine, sensational, Sherry on. We can all take a position here and lead, right? And do some weekly leadership. Be powerful in your conversations and your messaging and come forth. Come forth. That is my call to you today. Come forth. I'm calling each and every one of you to really create the possibilities for yourself and show up for Al so he can take on some other just amazing, incredible God things that he needs to step into. And you guys step into your leadership here, Rick. Just saying. All right. I got your back, Al. We had an amazing event last night. I've always been, how many of you love to be heart to heart, face to face, eye to eye, in-person events? I know Deborah and Catherine and Jesse and a few of you were out in Monterey with us. And man, having in-person events, it just reminds me how much I miss ACN and the in-person events and the spirit and the life and what comes to life at these events. I can't bring it we just can't bring it to you, right? You have to be in it. You have to experience it. So what could you do? I mean, how many of you are preparing for Dallas, are ready to go to Dallas, be in Dallas with us? And if you're not, I'd love to have a conversation with you, because gosh, where we're going in 2025, there's no coincidences. They named it Thrive 2025. And I shared last night in the room that that God gave me the word of acceleration this year. And you might not see it, but what are you doing to create it? Right? He can give you a word, but then what are you doing to step into that word? And that's how I'm talking to myself. When I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself because I can get that word, but then what am I doing? So I'm showing up. I'm stepping in. You know, many of you know that I lost my husband 2 years ago, and it was actually 2 years ago on the 21st this month. And you know, it's crazy that it's 2 years. And luckily I could step away for a little bit to do some grieving and to be with my family and to do all the things that needed to be done in that first year after he died. And you guys, I'm so grateful for ACN and the life that it's blessed me with. And it's beyond money. It's all the conversations that I've had at events with Mr. Thomas and Jeff Weber and Tony and Tony Kupas and Greg Provenzano, you know, and Mike Kane. It's those conversations, Robert Stefanowski, you know, and I don't say those names lightly because they're rare conversations, but when you are in the room, write that down. Being in the room. Being in the room when magic unfolds. And we have all these outside conversations sitting at home saying, I got this, I got that. I can't find this to make that happen. I don't know what goes on in your brain, what goes on in your mind, but write this down. But God. I say life happens, lives, right? Lives. It's going to happen to us all. And it's not what happens to us. It's what we do with what happens to us. If we're still here, guess what? You're not done. If you're still here, you're not done. That's how I look at my life every day. I'm still here. Unfortunately, it was my husband's time to go, and I can't change that. I can't make anything different other than what the reality is happen. And so what happened to our family, what happened to me, whatever you want to call it, it happened. Lives. And I miss him dearly. But I know that he's still here. And I know that he's a driving force in my life moving forward. I use it as my power, not my weakness. It is my power that of his being that he and I had here in this life that drives me every single day. But it is also the legacy that we continue to dream, that I'm going to bring to life with God. Like I'm bringing it to life, but I know that he's for me, right? Who can be against me? So I step into it every day, no matter the hard. You guys know that life is hard. It's hard. We lose money. You know, many of you know my story. We lost 12 million in the economy tank. How many of you have lost? But how many of you know that you're winners? Winners just win. Winners just win, you guys. But it's what we're doing, and it's the conversations that we have in our head that keep us from winning, keep us from getting to our best, keep us from an abundant life. You know, I could have many conversations, but I choose not to. It's what you're choosing. You can get out of it sooner. You know, God's call on your life is God's call on your life. And you know what it is, or maybe you're seeking it. It's there. But when you get in the room, somehow, some way, someone or a conversation happens and that light bulb goes on. That vision of the next step that you're meant to take. Claire, you were there last night, right? I think a light bulb probably went on in your head going, oh my gosh, I've missed this so much. You had people with you. Hey, I'm a noticer. I see things. You might not know that, but I see people and I see you. I saw you, Claire, and I saw your smile, and I saw you stand up and share where you're from and your position and so forth. When you get in the room, there's just something that happens. I had personal guests there. One brand new IBO from Las Vegas who just got started. Man, getting him there, but me being there makes a difference. I can send people, but me just saying, you know what? I can hop on a plane. And if I didn't have the money, I could drive. But sometimes now with gas prices, it takes just as much to pay for the gas prices than it does to get on a plane, right? But if you open your arms and you open your life and the work to the world, and sometimes the world can take you out and hurt you, but if you keep closed, you can never receive if your arms aren't open to heading into your greatest life ahead. And so being in that room, can you hear me? I know I've got frozen for a second. Okay. Being in that room, this is like some of the things that it gave me. It activated more vision in me, because when you hear someone like Tony Kupas go back to the days of launching ACN, and many of you have heard it. You guys, I've been in the business for 16 years, and you don't know how many times I've heard that story, because I love being in the room. And that story that he shared about LCI and, how the LCI founders were kind of laughing at what their offer was at the table. Who's laughing now? But they were in the room, and they came powerfully with their what they were asking for, and they had a vision, and they stepped into that vision that day, and why each and every one of us are on this Zoom today, because they made that decision and they kept showing up to the room no matter the conversations they were having in their head, because the vision was bigger than they were, bigger than their conversations, disempowering conversations. How many of you prefer an empowering conversation? But how many of us in our head aren't empowering ourselves? We have to shift in our head so we can be the leader that shows up in the room with people and freshness, and we've invited, and we have, how much fun it is when there's new people. How many of you know how much fun it is when there's new people? I think Mr. Thomas had, like, I don't know, 15, 20 people just in that room last night. Al, maybe more, I don't know. He's a senior vice president. He still had people in the room. And we all have places in our life when we're kind of recharging and regrouping and refreshing and, rejuvenating. Add the re to anything you want. But rebooting, right? But I think there's a message here for someone who's been having those disempowering conversations, and why I can't be at this event, or why I can't show up at this event, or why I can't step in and do a leadership conversation on these weeklies, and why I can't be the person in the room that shows up for everyone. Or maybe he just shows up for Mr. Thomas, who is always showing up for us. I don't know. I don't know what the conversation is that you're having, but how many of you are in for 2025 to shift the conversations to be empowering, to step into your greatness, to be in the room? And create. Let's just say, how many of you are okay with me saying this about your life? You're already whole, perfect, and complete as you are. You're already that. You were created that way. So now what if you just stepped into your life already knowing you're whole, perfect, and complete? No matter what's happened to you, no matter what you've placed on yourself or in your brain, and you can step into all that you have been dreaming of. Who would you be? Because who would you be is who you should be now, right now in this moment. Being powerful, being courageous, being available, being present. I don't know. What's your thoughts? Do you like knowing that you're already whole, perfect, and complete, and whatever's happened to you in the past doesn't come with you? You just put it behind you, surrender it all. That's what my book is about. Let it go. How about just be the room? Be the room that you show up in, the energy that you bring to it, the people that you're blessing to get in that room with you. So I'm going to be in San Diego on Wednesday. I will not be in Phoenix, but I was planning to, but I just, it's not working out right. But it's going to be a powerful room. Who lives anywhere near Vegas or within 12 hours that you could get there? And you know people, because Mr. Thomas said it earlier. Write this down. Who do you know? What are you creating? You guys, the people that I had at the event, there was one person that I actually knew in my life that was there. I mean, that is in my business, that's rejuvenating, just getting his business off the ground and refreshing for 2025. He was there. He actually was an ACN in 2005. He and his wife came back in my business last year, and then he had a life-threatening, altering event in his own life. But he was in the room last night because I was powerful in the conversation of getting him there, and he was there. That was Kibo. And Kibo's amazing. I mean, he's an incredible networker. But he's also a personal trainer, health coach. He's awesome. But the two other people that I had in the room, I didn't know before meeting them in that room. I've had a conversation with with those two on the phone, but those were cold market. They were in the room, and one is started and the other one's starting today. But would they have been in the room if I wasn't in the room? That's a good question. Got to show up. Write that down. I need to show up for myself first, then I can show up for others. That's empowering, showing up for yourself. So, learning and listening to Nellie, she's phenomenal. Her background in medical, learning about impact from someone who knows the medical industry inside and out, backwards and forwards. I learned a lot, even though many of you know I know impact very well because I'm a client for one, and I train it. But man, I learned something because guess what? I was in the room. Write that down. I was in the room. Because this happened is because I was in the room. Because that happened is because I was in the room. So I think I asked you to write something down that I haven't said yet. That's who do you know? Al Thomas said it earlier. Who do you know? Who do you not know that you need to know? Like the two guys that were in the room that I didn't know until I knew them. You don't know what you don't know and who you don't know until you do know. I'm going to be an Al Thomas and make my words just flip. Right? So who do you know? How many of you know that putting people in front of Tony Kupas in just that one conversation he talks about is all about vision? And they aren't done yet. They're still here. And those four founders have a huge vision of where we're going. So who do you know in the SoCal, San Diego, Phoenix, Tucson? I don't care. Anywhere in Arizona, anywhere in San Diego. If you're powerful enough in your empowering conversations, you're going to get those people in the room. And maybe, just maybe, you might get a flight to meet them there. If you pushed yourself into the conversation of making your list, see, we keep going back to the same people. We need new people. New people. You got to get out of your house. Got to talk to people. You don't have to get out of your house. Hey, do you know that you can cold market from your phone? You can meet people. I don't know. There's lead generations you could have. I don't know. There's career builders. There's Indeed. There's people you can meet from the comfort if you want to be comfortable. But I'm going to tell you, comfort's overrated. Do you know how uncomfortable I have gotten in my life? But you know what? To me, I embrace it. It's so much fun when you finally go, man, that was a disempowering conversation. This isn't that uncomfortable. Actually, it's like enlightening, and your world opens up. So I don't know how many of you have been in the comfort of your home too long. You can get on the phone and start finding people who you do know, but also who you don't know that you will know because you made the phone call, because you got some leads, you I don't know, maybe Craigslist. I don't know what it is. But that's where I'm stepping into. This girl, you haven't seen enough of this girl yet this year. And I'm just getting started. Who's coming with me? I'm coming with me. I have to come with me first. So, right. So you'll see me. Now, I would love to see someone on this, someone or someone's that are here with someone they know in San Diego on Wednesday night. Because guess what? I'm meeting somebody I haven't met yet. Until I meet them, then I'll know them. But I've met them on the phone. I had a conversation with them yesterday, and it was powerful. And he's like, I don't know how this conversation is something other than what I've used to speaking to when it comes to talking to people about life, business, and what's your conversations look like? Don't regress, don't retreat. Jump in the fire. Be in whatever battle you feel it is, go win it. Winners just win. Winners just win. So what's the word of the day? Be in the room. Who do you know? You're already whole, perfect, and complete. Empowering conversations. Shift that brain. Get out of those disempowering conversations and stay in the empowering conversations and make life happen. You have that power to make your life happen. So what is we're finished here because I think that's powerful enough. Is that I'm going to send you off of putting people in the room in Phoenix tonight, in San Diego tomorrow. And if you can be in the room and make it happen, be in the room. Get on a plane, meet me there. I challenge you. I don't know, people challenge me all the time, and I take on those challenges strongly. So, but make your list and get out of the limited beliefs that your list is this small. Come on, people. There's 8.1 billion people in this world, and if we're going to make an impact, it starts with one person at a time, but it's got to start with us first. And there's 91 million people in the United States looking for impact healthcare. 91 million. Do you want that piece of pie? Not only to impact their lives, but impact your lives financially and abundantly. There's so much available. Let's go create it together. So that's the last word I'm going to leave you with. Say it with me. Create, create, create. There are no limits, no chains, no nothing on you. The boundaries are, there is not a boundary to see. Limitless. Create every possibility. That's all available to each and every one of us. We're no different from each other, you guys. It's just what we do with it. So, Mr. Thomas, with that being said, I'm going to turn it back to you. I'm grateful and honored that you all were here today, and I hope you got your takeaways.